Hello and welcome. My name is Misheard with Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're doing season 4 today, episode 176, and amazingly, our first ever Misheard song lyric from Katy Perry. The Misheard song lyric is, I kissed a girl and I liked it. And correct lyrics is, I kissed a girl and I liked it. The Misheard song lyric could work on this. Ironically. So let's dig into who Miss Perry is, more about the song, some of the controversies, and how it did. So I Kissed a Girl is the debut single of American singer Katy Perry. And it was from her second studio album called One of the Boys. And it was from 2008. Wow. So 13 years ago, 14 years ago. Actually, now 15 years ago. My God, time is flying. And was ironically released on my birthday, April 28th, but back in 2008. And it was released by Capitol Records as the lead single from that record. Before we delve into the song itself, let's talk about Katy Perry. Is her name really Katy Perry? No, that's her stage name. Her God-given born name is actually Catherine Elizabeth Hudson. So she could also be Kate Hudson, like the actress, ironically. She was born in October of 1984, or October 25th, 1984. And like I said, Katy Perry is her professional name. She's also an American singer, songwriter, and television personality, and also known for obviously her pop music. And what I love about her campy style, she's not afraid to go for laughs and camp, which I love. And Vogue magazine actually titled her, referred to her as quote unquote the queen of camp. So all hail the queen of camp. So she actually started out in gospel music, amazingly, way back when she was 16. And she actually released a debut album. Oh, so here it is. Katy Hudson, not Kate Hudson, but Katy Hudson, Katy, under Red Hill Records back in 2001. So she was a mere 16 at that time, which was not commercially successful. She moved to LA at the age of 17 to try what they call more popular secular music that we know today, and later adopted the stage name Katy Perry from her mother's maiden name. Okay, but still used the Katy. She recorded an album which signed to Columbia Records, but was dropped before signing to Capitol Records. I bet you Columbia Records is kicking their butts now, because once she moved to Capitol Records, from I Kissed a Girl on, she's been very successful. I'll show you how many millions of albums she has sold. She rose to fame with One of the Boys, 2008, a pop rock record that included, like I said, I Kissed a Girl, and followed it up with another top single, Hot and Cold, which reached number 1 and 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. So amazing. Imagine, Capitol Records like, yay, and Columbia Records like, why did we drop her? The disco-influenced pop album Teenage Dream, which came out 2 years later in 2010, also spawned not 1, not 2, but 5 U.S. number 1 singles with California Girls spelled G-U-R-L-S, Teenage Dream, Firework, E.T., and Last Friday Night, or TJF, becoming the only album by a female singer to do so. I'm surprised about that. They reissued the album titled Teenage Dream, The Complete Confection, 2 years later in 2012, and produced the number 1 U.S. single, Pardon Me. So added even more to her number 1 list of songs she sang. And of course, again, Columbia Records is probably like, why did we not keep her? So then in 2013, she did a empowerment theme album called Prism, which added 2 more number 1 hits, which was Roar and Dark Horse. Both of those music videos made Perry the first artist to have multiple videos reach 1 billion views on Vivo, 1 billion with a B. And then her 2017 album called Witness, they call it electropop, featured themes of feminism and political subtext, while Smile 2020, her album, was influenced by recent motherhood and mental health journey. And then she embarked in a Las Vegas concert residency titled Play from 2021 to present, and has received numerous critical acclaim and commercial success. If I'm ever back in Vegas, I need to check her residency out, as well as Bruno Mars, because I hear they're wonderful. Okay, so here's how she's fared since being dropped by Columbia Records. She is one of the best-selling musical artists of all time. She has sold over 143 million records worldwide, All of her studio albums released under Capitol, again, Capitol's like, yes, and individually surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify, totaling 6 billion streams. That's amazing. She has 9 U.S. #1 singles, 3 U.S. #1 albums, and has received various accolades, including the Billboard Spotlight Award, currently the only female to have this, so she's the first, 4 Guinness World Records, probably because of her streams, 5 Billboard Music Awards, 5 American Music Awards, a Brit Award, and a Juno Award. And she's been included in the annual Forbes list of highest earning women in music from 2011 to 2019. She also did her Super Bowl halftime show. I remember seeing that back in 2015. Was the most watched in history. I did not know that. Outside of music, she released an autobiographical, it's always hard to say that, autobiographical documentary titled Katy Perry, Part of Me in 2012. I need to check that out. She also started serving as a judge for American Idol during its 16th season. I can't believe it's still going, in 2018. She's also the most followed woman and the 3rd most followed person on Twitter with over 100 million followers. So much. Who knew from age 16, gospel singer, no success. And then she goes and thinks, okay, I'm going to do it well with Columbia, gets dropped. And 3 times is a charm, right? And she didn't give up. And then here she is with Capitol, and look at all this. So now we know a little bit about Katy Perry. Let's go back to the song of I Kissed a Girl that started it all for her. She actually co-wrote it with famous writer Max Martin. I think I've mentioned him a couple times in other previous episodes. Kathy Dennis, and its producer Dr. Luke, with additional production from a Benny Bianco. I Kissed a Girl is a pop, rock, electropop, and disco song with elements of new wave. That's a lot. And Perry stated in its lyrics about the magical beauty of a woman. So that's what the song gist of it, but there's more to it. The song sparked controversy for its handling of bi-curious themes, and it's been viewed as the beginning of the awareness of LGBTQ awareness in pop music. Because I remember when I heard it, I'm like, ooh, wow, in the regular waves, they're talking about I Kissed a Girl, which, for a while was a no-no. The single also sold 6 million units in the U.S. alone. And of course, like I mentioned, I Kissed a Girl is one of 8 songs by Perry to sell over 4 million digital copies in the U.S., the others being Hot and Cold, California Girls, Teenage Dream, Firework, E.T., Dark Horse, and Roar. It also topped many charts in Australia, Austria, and many other places all over the world, okay? So, and it's also been a multi-platinum in Australia, Canada, Denmark, and UK, and the U.S., so she's done well. How was the song created? Because many people were speculating, oh, it's about me or it's about her. So according to Perry, this is what she said, quote unquote, the chorus actually popped into my head when I woke up. Perry also said that it's somewhat from a personal experience. Ooh, it was one of those moments when you hear artists talking about songs that they get in dreams or in the middle of the night. I was like, wow, what an interesting subject matter to kind of pop into my head. And I didn't do anything with it for about 1.5 years. Then all of a sudden, at the very, very end of making my album, I literally had 2 days left in the recording studio with my producer, Dr. Luke. We just said, we're going to finish it. It's so catchy because it won't get out of our heads. Very smart. And then there was an interview for The New Gay. Perry describes the song to be about girls, duh, but she defends the lyrics saying that when we're young, we're very touchy-feely. We have slumber party sing-alongs, we make dance routines or pajamas. We're a lot more intimate in a friendship than guys can be. It's not perverse, but just sweet. The big thing was, and this is what I've heard many times in going through the internet, was the song was actually inspired by actress Scarlett Johansson, or ScarJo. Perry had stated that the lyrics were inspired by her friendship with a girl as a teenager, commenting that, I did kiss her. I was totally obsessed with her. She was beautiful, porcelain skin, perfect lips. While Perry has not explicitly revealed the main person behind the inspiration of the song, Miley Cyrus herself has claimed it was about her. So Miley thinks it's about her, and many have said, and Perry have said, that it was inspired by ScarJo. So take what you will from that. And then in an interview with German online web show, Malcolm Music, this was a big aha for me too. They said Macy Gray, who was, I think, my 3rd or 4th episode, revealed that I Kissed a Girl was initially offered to her before Perry ended up releasing the song. That would have been a totally different sound with Macy Gray's very unique voice, right? And would have done as well. So things we would never know. And then Capitol A&R, Chris Anacuti, I think that, or Anacut, told Hit Quarters that the song and its controversial theme met with strong resistance at the label, I can imagine. People said, this is never going to get played on the radio. How do we sell this? How is it going to be played in the Bible Belt? He also said they needed to support one of the label's radio promoters to convince people to believe in the record. Otherwise, Perry would have likely been dropped again. Dennis Reese, Capitol's senior vice president of promotion, saw the vision and helped push the single on national radio. The first station to pick it up, ironically, and take a chance was 107.5 The River in Nashville. Rich Davis then played it, was played by, in Nashville, Rich Davis, then PD, was played the song by Joe Rainey of Capitol Records outside his favorite sushi spot in Nashville and immediately put it on the air. After playing it for 3 days, they were inundated, they said, with a lot of, as they say, enthusiastic calls. So whether it be good or bad, it caused quite a buzz. So that's kind of the inspiration. What someone like Miley Cyrus is saying, oh, she's singing about me, and the Macy Gray connection, had no idea. There was also many covers, but the interesting one was ironically not a cover, one by artist Jill Sobule. Hipline Online, or hiponline.com, wrote that the song is not nearly as interesting or as exciting as you expect. It's not even half as good as Jill Sobule's song, I Kissed a Girl. So Jill wrote a song around the same time with the same title, but it's a totally different song. And it was, of course, put together. Now, I'm assuming that the Jill Sobule's version is probably not as famous as the Katy Perry. So you can only imagine, like, how did she feel at that point? And many have said hers was better, had more emotional content, but again, not as pop, right? And pop sells. And so it said here, the artist herself, Sobule, attacked Perry in an interview back in 2009. What it says here is, when Katy Perry's version came out, I started getting tons of inquiries about what I thought. Some folks and some protective friends were angry and wondered why she took my title and made it to this kind of girls gone wild thing. As a musician, I've always refrained from criticizing another artist. I was, well, good for her. Did bug me a little bit. However, when she said she came up with the idea for the Title of the Dream, in truth, she wrote it with a team of professional writers and was signed by the very same guy that signed me in 1995. I've not mentioned that in interviews as I don't want to sound bitter or petty, because that's not me. Okay, maybe if I really think about it, there were a few jealous and pissed off moments. So here goes. For the first time in an interview, fuck you, Katy Perry. You fucking stupid. Maybe not good for the gays. Title thieving. Haven't much heard else. So not quite sure if you're talented, fucking little slut. There you go. And that's what Jill Sobule said with an interview with the Rumpus. And then days later, Sobule explained in a Huffington Post article she penned, stating, I thought maybe this time would have fun with it and goof on what many of my fans were hoping to hear over the last year. I prefaced my reply with a wink and then rambled on with a string of over-the-top, dumb-ass profanities, purposely out of character and completely in jest. I may be a touch cynical about the business, but I've never really been angry or had ill feelings toward Katy herself. I was actually in a small way happy to not be kissed by a girl anymore. So that's what she said with Huffington Post. So I don't know if that was like a way to retract back, like, oh shit, I made all those bad expletives against her. She getting a backlash, or she was like, it was all in joke. So take it what you will. So interesting. Didn't even know about the Jill version of it with her own song called I Kissed a Girl. All right. Did you see the music video? Of course, millions and millions of views. It was released on May 16th, 2008, so a couple of weeks after it was out there in the market, on Perry's personal website and then on MySpace. That's how old it is, 08. And then the video was directed by Akinga Berza and has this kind of burlesque Moulin Rouge feel to it, with scenes of Perry along with many of her flamboyantly, they said, dressed women dancing to the song. And towards the end, she wakes up next to a male companion played by DJ Skeet Skeet. I love these names. And despite the song's title, there's no depiction of same-sex kissing at all. Perry features her real-life friend and DJ Mia Moretti, Marcus Molina's cat Bella, and Kesha, yes, the Kesha, also a singer, in the music video. Wow, that was a lot to unpack. Learned a lot of the connections. But the Macy Gray thing is still killing me. So there you go. If you have any great suggestions like this Misheard song lyric and any stories behind it, please send us it to our many facets of either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or just send me a good old-fashioned email at Misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com. And who knows, we might be talking about one of your misheard song lyrics. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye!